Hi, welcome to SPR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It's week 11 in the NFL. We are doing a regular spot with Doug Upstone getting his value plays for the week. I'm interested to hear what he has to say this week because I personally am not seeing that much that I'm loving. Doug Upstone, thanks for being back with us. How'd you do last week?
Peter, I went 4-2 overall on both videos, and I know that you love the fact that I had the New England Patriots because it was, as you said, a ballsy pick last week.
Yeah, that's right. You picked against the Patriots, or which one did you pick?
I went against the Patriots.
Yeah. Hey, ballsy turned out to be a very sharp side. Doug Upstone, what's your first value pick for us this week?
My first value pick, Peter, is with the Carolina Panthers once again. Now, last week you disagreed with me about the Panthers, and I completely understood your reasoning. And you were certainly not alone because a lot of people were on Tennessee last week. But I thought, as I mentioned in last week's video, that this would have been the better week to go against Carolina, because I assumed that because if they would, with their win over Tennessee and cover, that they would be at least a 10-point favorite. And to my amazement, they only came in as a touchdown favorite. So to me, that really adds a lot of value, looking at it for this week's game. Now, kudos to Washington for doing a real nice job last week and getting the big upset, I guess, of sorts against New Orleans and really pounded them. But Kirk Cousins and Washington have not done the job on the road, and they're 0-4 and 1-3 against the spread. Now, with Carolina, 14-1 and 10-5 against the spread since week 14 of last year. At -7, I think that's a tremendous value, and I got them winning by at least 10 points, Peter.
All right, Doug Upstone, listen, the Panthers have been clearly undervalued all season long. I got a lot of crap for it on our video for liking the Titans. A lot of people liked the Titans last week. Hey, Panthers fans and the Panthers backers were totally right. They cashed. Maybe it's a situation once again this week. I'm kind of leaning towards the over in the Washington game. That's a bet that I'm going to be on. But as far as the side, you might be right. Doug Upstone, what's your second value play for us, NFL Week 11?
My second value play is with the Minnesota Vikings. Now, in looking at Minnesota and Green Bay in last week's game, I was struck by the notion that this could be the changing of the guard in the NFC North this week. In spite of how bad the Packers played last week, they still had numerous chances to win that game and failed at every single one of them. Now, strike the position with Minnesota, who started off with a 13-0 lead against Oakland, lost it, but then came back to take the lead and salted the game away in the fourth quarter with a 10-0 run. Now, one fact that should not be overlooked in this game, even though the NFL is now perceived as a passing league, 6 of the top 8 running teams have winning records against the spread, and only half of the top 8 passing teams have a spread record that is actually winning. Now, when I look at this, Minnesota is the #1 rushing team in the NFL. They're second in yards per point allowed. And when the spread is in this range of -3 to +3, they're 7-1 against the spread. I'll take the more confident, more complete team in the Minnesota Vikings this week as a value play.
All right, Doug Upstone, I'm sure a lot of people are happy to hear your analysis of that game. A lot of people are probably still trying to feel their way out with what to make of Green Bay at the moment. I'm one of those people. I took the under 45 in that one. Not sure if that's a great play, but I think it's probably pretty solid. The question is just Green Bay's offense. Are they going to be able to bounce back? That's the key to both the side and the total. Doug Upstone, obviously thinking not enough to get a win over the Vikings. Interesting thoughts, Doug. What's your third value play for NFL Week 11?
My third value play is on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, last week I had no faith in Kansas City to defeat Denver, but they certainly proved me wrong. Now, that gives them now 3 straight wins and 3 straight covers. And as we have seen, Peter, in the NFL, a lot of times when you start building a little momentum, it tends to carry itself. So that's what I see with this particular team. Now, I look at their defense. They're only giving up 14 points per game in their last 5. So that's been a little bit under the radar with this team as how well they're playing on defense. Now, San Diego should be somewhat refreshed coming off a bye week, but this is still a team with a ton of injuries and a lot of guys that are still going to be out. And then during the off week, I read where a number of the veteran players of the Chargers were calling out the younger guys for not being tough enough and wanting to play hurt and with injuries. With San Diego showing no proclivity whatsoever to win any close games, I have a system with Kansas City that's pretty convoluted. Let me just say this. It's 22-4 against the spread. I'll take the Chiefs to win this game by 8.
Wow. All right. Well, The Chargers were one of the few plays that I was actually liking on the opening lines at plus 3.5. I guess we're going to be going head-to-head on this one, Doug Upstone, but I don't feel too good about that one. We did that last week. You clearly were on the right side in that one. I was on the wrong side in that one. We'll see how this turns out this week. Doug Upstone, thanks so much.
Thank you, Peter.